Hey guys, on this installment of our special series on Glenn's handcuffs for Off the Cuff, that he loaned to Off the Cuff, that he was nice enough to bring to Off the Cuff to my house and everything, we're going to look at some from a couple of Asian countries, specifically China and Japan. The first one is a beautiful example of a brass Chinese cuff. It has 4 center links, very similar to a Darley cuff, which is a cuff I don't think I covered yet. But anyway, it's similar, you know, it's a swing through. But instead of ratchet teeth, it has holes in the bow, and there's a rotating wheel, or in this case, yeah, this is just a regular locking latch. This provided security that ratchet teeth don't. This was made in China, and I have no idea what that says. I don't even know if I'm holding it right. Maybe it goes this way, maybe it goes that way. No idea. If you do, let me know what it says, and, you know, keep the profanities to a minimum. Like people, they get tattoos of Chinese characters, and it says, you know, like soup, or I'm a dick, or whatever, you know, and they think that it says power and bravery and all that crap. So anyway, these are the brass Chinese ones. And the next ones are of the rare. These are also Chinese, but we discovered that they were used by Wells Fargo and Company in the 1850s and 1860s in San Francisco, California. Isn't that something? Wow, Wells Fargo. Chinese cuffs with the same locking. No, they're not. They're Chinese cuffs that somebody purposely stamped Wells Fargo to fool a buyer. They wanted the person to think that these were rare Old West, you know, shoot 'em up Cowboy Bill handcuffs used by Wells Fargo stagecoaches. They weren't. Not even close. Ugh. It's just audacious that they did it. What? Somebody will actually have a picture of like Wild Bill Hickok working for that company with the damn cuffs, but no, as far as we know, these are not real. Alright, now we're going to jump over to Japan. I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this stuff right, and I'm probably not, but if you're watching from Japan, please, in the comments, let us know exactly what these are. As far as we can tell, we call them, it's really hard to pronounce, Mariusi, M-A-R-U-I-S-I. These ones are very intricately decorated, which you don't often see on handcuffs. There looks like a German Shepherd laying down. I didn't know they had German Shepherds in Japan. And on the opposite side, we have a samurai on a horse. And this is a chrysanthemum, which is the symbol in Japan for the police. It's like the badge that they use. And we were trying to date these cuffs, and then we realized, you know, wait a minute, it says patent. It has English numbers, you know, Arabic numerals, English. It's written in Manchu, patent 913, and over here it says Coda. And I was like, well, we know it wasn't during World War II because they were upset with us at the time and they wouldn't write anything in English or sell anything. This was obviously made for export. And it has a rotating extra bit here for when the key goes in. It's like a keyhole cover made out of brass. Extra security. It takes a very teeny tiny key. And again, this has the square holes. Square hole, yeah, right. Has the holes drilled into the bow. It also has this little extra thumb pusher there. But look at just the work on this is amazing. Then we have the next model up from that same manufacturer. And they changed it. They did away with the brass keyhole and just changed it to the steel. And there's a updated version of the chrysanthemum. They're a little thinner than what we consider to be the older of the two pair, and they're not as hefty, they're not as well made. That's not a good sign. It's a slippery slope once you start to decline in quality in your items, and they hit rock bottom with this next one, which is, I don't even know how to describe it. It's got a wheel that engages the holes in the bow. It's got the double lock is a stop lever in there. It's got a little cup that the key, which is a piece of crap garbage, goes into and rotates. And they wiggle on everywhere. They're so bad that these are actually what they modeled toys on. So you can go to the dollar store and buy toy versions of these that look identical to them. In fact, when I was looking for my parrot like this, I dug through so many bins in yard sales and places had toy handcuffs, and I'm looking for the real deal, and they just went right out there. Then they saw the error of their ways, and they went and copied an older design from America, the Smith & Wesson, or the Peerless, the circa 1916. It doesn't have the groove, but it operates exactly like the Peerless cuffs. They're also made for export because it says actually Japan, and then it says TWO 2. I don't know why, maybe because there's 2 cuffs. They both say 2 in the circle, unless it means something else that I don't understand. But these have 2 links. Like I said, they're clones of the early Peerless and Smith & Wessons, and they got a good weight to them. These are made out of much higher quality steel than this. In fact, these are made out of the same quality steel, I would say, just by feel, as these guys. So they might have even been made at the same time period, just by different companies. And then we go to the most modern, really, of the Japanese ones. Oops. These are Bitco double lock handcuffs. Bitco. Very similar to our Peerless, except it takes the solid key. So it takes basically the old style Peerless key in the new style Peerless lock case. If that makes sense. But again, for some reason they don't do that node slot, anti-shim slot. I don't know why. But a lot of people that copied just don't. Maybe it's an expensive machine to make that thing. So anyway, these are Bitcos. I don't have these. I have them. And I have the Chinese, but these are just a few of his examples from overseas, from Asia.
You were rolling.
Okay, now these 2 versions of the let me say that again. The Mariusis. We're trying to figure out like a date, and I was concerned because it says there's a lot of English writing on here. Manchu, patent. I mean, patent is not a Japanese word, so I was like, well, these maybe they were made for export. But as Glenn pointed out to me, he had discussions with people of, who were Japanese and lived there at the time, and they said no, these were police issue, right? Yep. Now these 2 Mariusis, okay, are interesting. Besides, like we showed you the different decorations in there, and the chrysanthemum means that these were actual Japanese police issue. These were used by police officers in Japan. All right, and they both have the chrysanthemum symbol on it. Now, as far as why it would have also English writing on it, who knows? Maybe they were in during occupied Japan, or who knows? Because that's one thing that we do know is that they were used by the Japanese police. The other stuff, there's a million different reasons why it could appear on it. Sometimes when a company, like, I know that pottery companies would have to get patents or whatever, however they registered, and copyrights, I think, in other countries. So it's the same as plays. So who knows? But they're fantastic, really good artisan work. I mean, you can see the little samurai guys, everything on the horse's bridle, everything. It's really cool. So those were the early guys, and pretty much my favorite out of the bunch. And there you go. Okay, guys. Well, that's it for this edition in our series. Make sure you tune in again for the next one. And please subscribe, share, and don't forget to go to Glenn's YouTube channel, and you'll see the link in the credits. All right, see ya.